Did the job for a client, and you know, after recording, they need to go there for approval. So during that, you know, it came out that I'm a popular figure and that I can appear in that advert to be shown on television. You get it? So that is the whole problem, and that I have kids who are my followers and I can influence them to go into alcoholism. So they can pass the advertisement on television. And you know, so I decided to do a follow-up, and they said yes, that is it. It's stated in their law, and even to the extent that I'm not supposed to do a radio advert for any alcohol product. I said, wow, how? On what measure are you using to determine who is a popular figure? Because I can get to an end, nobody knows me there. So I don't to know what measure are you saying that because somebody is a popular figure. Like putting up such a 60,000 project and you said you are not accepting it, so I'm in debt now. When you do every advert, it's in the law. You should state that one. Let's say let me take alcohol. They put it that it is not for persons under 18 years. It's for persons for 18 years and above. You are saying I'm popular, so I should not even do radio advert. What has popularity got to do with radio? You get that is so it's as if it's an attack on me. That is my worry. But as for the TV, I accept it that oh yeah, the kids will see you, they know that it's you. But radio too, and the same. So you sit there and say, is it a sabotage or is it something? But me, I don't want to think to that level. There are laws that we do, it is there. But if you are challenging the law, that is where they will tell you that, no, this is there. But you get what I'm trying to say. But in enforcing it, they try to be flexible because we cannot behave, we cannot live like where we source that law. You get it? Because they have passed through, let's say, democracy, for example, for a very long time. They've corrected the system and they've been perfected it. But here, it is gradual process. So when you are enforcing a law was made for people, for men, so it should not be something that will affect them.
All right, so Fira Kwame Jokoto there. And the story is that he's been asked not to put his voice or his image on any alcoholic beverage because of influence that he has on children. Is there anything that is positive about this move? You can let me know. If you've got thoughts, please share it with me on facebook.com/joynews on TV. But let's go to the authority that has put this ban on some selected celebrities, popular people, they say. My guest is James Latte. He's the head of communications at the Food and Drugs Authority. Mr. Latte, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So I just, because you've heard Kwame Jokoto,
yes,
so I want to give you the opportunity to
Yeah.
respond to some of the things that he said.
Okay. In the first place, I want us to understand that we are working with the law. Now, the law says that nobody has the right to advertise any food products or medicines unless the Food and Drugs Authority has given approval to that advertisement.
Okay.
Now, before you can advertise a product, the product must first be registered by the authority. But the fact that it is registered is not automatic that it can be advertised. So you first bring a script to the FDA. When you look at in our guidelines, it's so clear there that you first bring a script. How much does it cost to do a script? Just type in the wording. It doesn't cost anything.
It costs a lot of money because you have a copywriter who will produce it.
Listen, he's talking about a lot of money he's lost. And I'm establishing a point. That is why we don't demand from the beginning that you bring an electronic version of the advert. What you are supposed to do as a client is to bring a script just on a sheet of paper.
But that costs because as a copywriter, you know, usually because I'm involved in some of these things, I have a fair understanding.
I know.
I just want you to appreciate. I want you to appreciate that from the very beginning, where you show a product that this is what I want to advertise. So produce a script for me. It costs money.
Mama V, let's establish this. That in business, you can gain or you can lose. So if you start with a script and it's disapproved. That's just the script. You understand? But what we've noticed is that people don't follow this directive.
As in, they don't bring the script for approval?
Yes. They decide they want to go and do the whole advert, the shooting, editing, before bringing it. Whose problem is that? Because what we have told you, our guideline is that first bring a script. When we look at the script, we go through the script and everything is okay. Then we give an approval to the script. Then you go and produce now an electronic version.
Okay.
Then you can hold us that why did we approve the script and now you spend money on the electronic version, we are rejecting it. You have a point.
Okay, but do you also have to bring the work after you've done the electronic version to you for what exactly?
What happens is we have a committee. They'll first look at the script and we compare the script with the law. Is there any provision what you have done that contravenes the law? For instance, alcohol, that is food products, is not supposed to be advertised as medicine. So if you bring something to us that suggests that your advertisement, which is a food advertisement, is going to make claims on medicinal value, immediately we'll reject it and tell that we can't approve this.
Okay.
You understand? So when the committee sits down and gives approval to the script, you are communicated to that an approval has been given to the script. Now come and submit the electronic version. The committee again will sit down and look at the whole advert, the electronic version. We have about 50 people on the committee.
Okay.
Yes.
So can I, with what you've said, can I then conclude that all the adverts that we've seen on television and on radio related to food and medicine have passed through your hands?
Not all. Not all.
Why
It's
not?
supposed to. It's supposed to. But not all.
Haven't you failed in your work then?
It's not that we have failed. You see, this is where I want to put some small blame on the media.
Really?
You know, Mama, what we have said as an institution is this. If an advertiser walks to your studio or your station and tells you that I have this advert, play it on my behalf, you are not supposed to first think about the money. Because there's a law backing that. So you ask a person, have you gone to FDA for approval? If the person demand the letter, because we give a letter, a copy to the media station. So you demand the letter from the person. Then let me see the letter indicating that you're beginning an approval. If you get a letter and you are satisfied that yes, look, I have some stations, that what they do is that when people bring the adverts, they always call to confirm whether we have given an approval. How much does that it cost to call to confirm?
So stations are supposed to call the FDA and cross-check
Not
per the law?
No.
Okay, not they're supposed to.
But to save yourself, it's good to do that. I'll give you a very good example. Like FDA, we have officers that travel. Sometimes when they send the applications to embassies call to confirm whether they are staff of FDA. Just to make a confirmation. You understand? And that is saving you against flouting the law.
Okay. So is this also in the law that this is what the stations have to do?
To call?
Yes.
You're supposed to cross-check.
Okay.
No,
does this apply to newspapers as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Both print and electronic media. We check all. Both print and electronic.
Let's settle, let's talk about persons who cannot put their voices or their images onto these alcohol. And when you talk about alcoholic beverages, are you talking about all of them, or you have some selected? Are you talking local? You're talking international drinks? What exactly do you mean?
Alcoholic beverage in general. In general. So every alcoholic beverage.
When I come back, we will talk about the celebrities that you have said they cannot advertise these beverages. And I also want us to make a clear distinction now that you're here. In terms of the advertisement, are you talking LPMs as well? Because sometimes radio presenters also read out messages. And so we'll talk about all of them when we come. But we're also joined by a very popular person. Won't tell you, you will see her when you see her on your screen. Stay with me. All right, we're still talking about the FDA's directive, or let me just say it's a ban, because they say some selected persons who are popular cannot put their images or their voices on certain advertisements, particularly alcohol. So I've got the head of communications at the Food and Drugs Authority joining me, and then also Deborah Vanessa, one very popular person in Ghana. She's a brand ambassador, she's an artist, she sings sometimes, she's a model as well. So Deborah, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Have you heard about this FDA directive?
Yes, I have. I've heard about it.
Okay, but have you put your voice, or maybe you featured in a certain adverts that has to do with alcohol?
Like I said earlier, not that I remember, maybe I drank too much after I forgot.
Yeah, okay. But what do you think about this directive? Is this something that you agree with?
From the little I know, I don't really know the reason, like maybe he did something in particular, but I do not agree with it because there's no agency that like bans actors, and that's not the job of the Food and Drugs Authority. However, they, from a scientific point of view, can look at the ad and say this is misinformation, or maybe this is a concoction that hasn't been approved of and is deceiving people. However, if it's a product that is already on the market, that means they've already passed the test by the Food and Drug Authority. So I don't think it's their job to go around. You can't ban an individual, honestly, but you can complain about a commercial. You can look at the quality of the commercial, which it could be a drink commercial, maybe a beer commercial, where the people are swimming in the pool after, and it doesn't make sense. So then they can step in and, advise that, oh, this ad, is not directing people properly. But as an individual, just there hustling, when you are in the public eye, these are the kind of things that you live on. Endorsements, they use you because they know you have a huge following. Okay, so if that is a problem, then all drinks will have to be banned. Do you get me? You can't select, and you can't ban an individual. No.
Okay. James.
Yes.
You've heard her.
I heard her.
And she brings a different twist to this whole conversation. Okay. You can complain about the advertisement, but why touch the person who did it?
Okay. Now, let us look at it from this direction. I don't know whether you are aware that when it comes to something like tobacco, internationally, celebrities are not even supposed to advertise on tobacco. And even tobacco advertisement is so much restricted. You are not even allowed to do it to a certain level. Why? Are you not spoiling the work of celebrities? You see, let us understand that when you talk about law moves with morality. Let's understand that. Law and morality goes together. Though there be some argument about that. If, for instance, as an institution, the law gives you the mandate that nobody has the right to advertise a product unless you have given approval to the product.
Yeah, you've made those regulations a bit clear.
Yeah,
it's just that it's a bit difficult to understand because when they advertise these beverages, they make it clear that it's not for sale to persons under the age of 18. So this is specific targeting. They're targeting a certain group and not children.
Listen, when you look at the provisions of the law, it's clear that the institution should come out with guidelines to direct on this. Now, before we came out with this guideline, it wasn't only FDA that sat down. We consulted. And let me make this clear that this particular directive, as in celebrities not being used for alcoholic beverages, it's not only in Ghana. Internationally, how do you call it? It's being complied now.
Yeah, but we see big brands with celebrities on it. In fact, when you watch most of the football, the leagues, the well-known leagues, they're sponsored by alcohol beverages.
And even sometimes they do it very subtle, like you mentioned tobacco. There are these series, I think, American, obviously, but very popular. I think one is called House of Cards. I'm not sure. They don't put it in your face, but then the actors are smoking and they zoom in, they pan on the cigarettes subtly. So if you are not sharp, you will not observe. So it's still being done. But the point is that an individual It's not his
You
fault.
see,
He didn't approve for the alcoholic drinks to even be invented or produced. But it is there. It's in society. I don't think we can take that out now.
Yeah.
So once it's on the market, if anything, maybe the commercial has to be tweaked a bit, maybe the way it was done.
I don't know whether you agree with me that when, for instance, children look at an advert, they normally link the products being advertised to the person being used in the advertisement. In the sense that if, for instance, Deborah, they see you being used as in an alcoholic beverage advertisement, they'll begin to think that this is the product that has made you who you are. I mean, that's how advertisement is linked.
No, I think they'll think this is what Sister Deborah drinks. So
that makes.
So when I grow up, when I'm over 18, I might.
No. When you're over 18.
No, but usually they say, I want to be like you when I grow up. They don't say, I want to be like you right now.
No, listen to me. How do the person become like you? It starts from now.
Okay, but maybe I should ask you this basic question.
Yes,
did you do a certain research that arrived at this conclusion?
Oh, yes. Yes. Look, this directive, it is something that we did in consultation with other stakeholders. There were meetings.
But the truth of the matter is, there's still drinks out there, alcoholic drinks. There's still
that
commercial.
are not advertised.
So I feel like it's up to the parents, the guardian, the schools, the churches, to let the children know that it can go against your health. Maybe when you're over 18, if you want to try it, fine. But at the end of the day, too much alcohol can, have a negative effect on you. That's the advice we all get growing up.
Deborah, I want us to look at this thing very well.
Okay.
If you think parents can play a role, schools can play a role,
Churches.
and we know churches can play a role, and we know that models can also play a role. Why is it the money that they are getting that they don't want to play that role?
No, but
you see, let's get this thing very clear.
But
it's supposed to be a collaborative thing. Everybody.
No,
but
it is.
some
But
parents
James,
drink.
the only
Some
issue.
parents
Oh yes,
drink.
they do.
But James, here's the business angle to it. This is somebody's profession. There are people who do voiceovers, who do commercials, and that's all they do.
Marvin,
That's the problem.
You see, the way you are carrying this message is appearing as if FDA is saying that celebrities should never be in any advert.
That's what it appears like.
No,
but we're talking
it's
alcoholic
only on
beverages.
alcoholic beverage. Look, we regulate 5 products.
No, we get it.
Cosmetics. No. Marvin, let's establish this.
No problem.
5 products. Cosmetics, medicines, medical devices, household, and then food. And even with the food, only alcohol that we are talking. Look at the brand, the range of foods, products. But we are talking about only alcohol within the food.
Only alcohol.
That's what we are talking about. So it's not like FDA saying that celebrities should not be in any advert. That's not what we are saying.
Okay.
But does FDA
James,
have the right to ban individuals? Individuals.
Listen.
It's not a ban.
We are not banning individuals.
Okay.
We are saying that our guideline
Okay.
that celebrities, and you see, let me make this thing clear. When you talk about a ban, as if this
Sorry,
song has
that's
been
what I
allowed
underline.
and now they've been asked to stop. No. For a long time, it's not supposed
It's
to be
not
so.
encouraged. You wouldn't
No,
encourage
yes.
it. But now you
That's
guys
also-
sound like a pastor and advising,
No. The point is this. It is a regulation. It is a guideline. And the guideline says that celebrities should not be in alcoholic beverage advertisement.
So, but is it fair that the celebrities didn't know about this? They didn't know about this clause or this line that says they should not advertise.
Anybody that works in our office to apply for advertisements, you are given a copy of the guideline, and this is in the
So
guideline.
advertisers have it.
Yes, they have it.
know.
Do you know?
Let
And
me-
wait,
let me-
let me come to Kwame Jogoto before.
That means
we
they
go.
No,
don't
let me
know.
just read
But
a
they
bit of
always
messages.
call celebrities. That means they don't know.
Well,
Maybe they
well,
don't read.
No, they decide to forget.
I'll come to you for a certain definition of the celebrity, the people who fall into that category. But because I've been encouraging people to send us messages, let me just be fair and read a bit of it for you. This is from Kwabena Kumeko, says, I want to find out from the FDA head of communication whether in submitting the script for approval, one needs to add the cast, because if the cast is not needed and only script is required, then what Kwame Jokoto is saying is true. One script can be approved, but afterwards, because there's a popular person amongst the cast, it will still be rejected. Here's another one from Faith, saying, I agree with the authority. My son of 17 months will run from any part of the house when he hears Jokoto's voice on TV to watch him. We are so much interested in money that we get, we forget the impact that it has on kids. A bit also for you on Facebook. Here's Adai saying, this is funny. Parents are supposed to monitor their kids. Let celebs endorse alcohol and make their money. Young saying, wrong move from the FDA. And Ranging Nana Kofi Randy says yes. And in our movies too, Abba. Okay, so somebody bringing the movies angle to it. And Auntie Amma says, I think it's the best because it will attract their attention for them to have a feel of alcohol. So let's talk about who falls into this category. Who is a celeb per your definition?
A celebrity we see to be a well-known person who arouses the interest of a particular group in a society. You understand? So, like, you can be a celebrity, not to some people, but to some people. Let's get that thing clear. That's the way I'll define it.
Okay, so who determines that Deborah has a certain influence on children and I don't?
No, this is so clear. Mavi, I don't want to mention names.
Oh, no, you can. I mean...
But look, there are some celebrities, if they talk today, tomorrow, when you go to schools, that'll be the slogan. Children just like them.
So you know those people?
Oh, we know them.
Okay. So if I put my voice on any alcohol, you won't have a problem with that?
I won't say yes, I won't say no.
No, shouldn't you let the people know so that they don't even attempt it?
No. It is a committee that sits down to determine that. So when you bring your advert and we see you and you say, oh, Mama, no, this woman will create a problem for us.
With a quick one on the scripts that Kwabena was asking. You look at the script, but do you ask for casts? Or the voiceover artist?
I get this question very well. But before you bring the script, you are given the guideline. Because you come and buy the form and the guideline is attached. So in the guideline, you already know that you're not supposed to use a celebrity. So when you bring this to us, we know that you already have the idea through the guideline. Okay. You're not supposed to do that.
So, all right. Yeah, looking at this problem, even if it's not on TV, there's other places that children, maybe you are walking along the street and there's a drinking spot and you see adults drinking, or you even see a very lovely looking lady drinking, someone that you aspire to look like when you grow up. How are you going to correct that or ensure that the child doesn't look that way? Or I think all drinks,
before you attempt to answer that though, just soak it in. And let me bring into the conversation Mr. Francis Darcy. He's president of the Advertisers Association of Ghana. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. My apologies for not being able to speak. I'm the executive director, not the president.
Executive director, thank you. So we've been, advertisers have apparently been flouting the regulations all these years. You use celebrities in your alcoholic advertisement you're not supposed to. Did you know it?
Of course, we know it. It's not a convention in Ghana alone. It's a worldwide convention in the UK, in Nigeria, in South Africa, everywhere. So if you see advertisers, some advertisers who do not know and who don't care.
But it comes across also that the celebrities we're talking about do not also know this. So is it the Advertisers Association's job to do some sort of education? And why do some advertisers still go ahead and use them when they are not supposed to?
Because they are just recalcitrant and flouting the law. That is why I have an issue with my colleagues, FDA. We should have started this and implementing them and not wait till now. We should go for the law. We did the guidelines together. We have been through it. Let us get it working. And let us stop looking at it as an individual. It's not an individual issue. It's a national issue. It's a professional issue. It's a standard issue worldwide. It is not only in Ghana. And so for me, let's go and implement it and make sure that it is adhered to and protect our citizens. That's what it is. If you go into any profession, look, we have situations where, producers and even some of these actors have turned themselves into advertising agencies and are producing these things themselves. So you have a situation where one celebrity TV endorsing more than 6 or 7 products from different companies. Please, let's get our acts together. This is a profession, and let us get it right and do it well. If you're a celebrity, go for other products and services and go and endorse them. Alcohol is a no-no area, and it is a no-no area worldwide.
But Mr. Darcy, is it not a business that the FDA has with advertisers, but not the artists, not the presenters, not the ambassadors?
We don't have we have a both, not the advertisers, yes, like clients, as we refer to as advertisers. So what we are saying is that what did this actor go and do at FDA? What did he go and do there? Is he an advertiser? Is he the owner of the product? The FDA works with the client, the advertiser or the producer of the product. He is supposed to take his kids there with his advertising agency for them to go through the process. So what did he go and do there? He should let the producer of the product, the manufacturer or the advertiser go and deal with the matter.
So I guess you're excited now that the FDA has decided to enforce this.
I am 101% excited because it will bring credibility to the kind of business and the profession that we are in, because it is an eyesore, is an eyesore people you watch your TV and your radio and the things that you see is an affront to advertising profession in this country. I am very excited, I am happy about it, and I'll go for it so that the right things are done, so that our colleagues from the international community and other advertising the companies who come to Ghana know that we are also serious and we are adhering to international standards and practices.
So am I getting the sense that the adverts that we find on television with some of these famous people, those advertisers are not your members? Is that the sense that I'm getting?
That is what it is. And they don't even go through the FDA. If they have gone through there, there are some that are illegally advertising, and because the FDA cannot be everywhere, they need the support from the public and ourselves to make sure that we bring sanity into this industry. That is what it is.
Okay. Mr. Francis Darcy, we'll leave it here. We'll have a longer conversation, when you make it to the studio sometime soon. That's the Executive Director of the Advertisers Association of Ghana, Francis Darcy, joining us on the phone. They're excited. That should make you happy.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the information in general wasn't put out there properly. I don't know if it's from the FDA or the media, but because the information we got was that one individual has been banned. That doesn't make sense, and that would make people
but that is what it is, because
that is what it is.
No, because you still have advertisements running every day.
No. I mentioned something to you that if you see any advertisement with celebrities in it on alcohol, we have not given approval.
So why is it out there?
Yes, it's illegal.
But you have the power. You are an authority. You can pull down the advert in just some seconds. I
was telling your radio station yesterday that it's better late than never. You take it that we made a mistake from the beginning. Now we are enforcing it.
So why don't you? I mean, if you've gone all out on Kwame Jokoto, because that's the name that we know officially.
Look, I don't
so
want
who are the other people? Why don't we talk about them?
There was a radio presenter who called me about a month ago that he's brought advertisement there, and he's being asked that because he's a celebrity, he's not being allowed to do it. He didn't come out. A popular guy, he called me. He didn't come out.
So Kwame Jokoto is not the only person.
It's not the only person.
So how many people do you have on your lists? You will not give us the name, but you may be able to give us a certain number of people.
I mean, when you bring an advert to us, and we notice that it's a celebrity that has the potential of winning the house of children under 18, we don't agree.
Give us a phone call if you have an opinion on this on 030221169102 030221169102. Is this a directive that you think will work for you? How much of an influence do people like Deborah, for instance, have on your children, do you think? Let me go to Boko. We have somebody joining us from there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mama V.
Yes, sir. What's your name, please?
This is Benjamin Apia.
Very well, Benjamin. Let's hear you.
Yes, my concern is that the PRO made mention that celebrities should not have their names on those adverts played on our TV station. And the question I want to ask him is that how does one become a celebrity? Is the frequency at which the fellow appears on tele or on radio, that makes him one. So the generality should that those alcoholic beverages should not at all be advertised. I think that makes sense than saying that on celebrities. Take for instance, if I should be used to play an advert for any other alcoholic beverage repeatedly, I become a celebrity because people see me often on TV.
That's a very important point, Benjamin. I'll note it. We'll tackle that. Let me speak to somebody else who's joined us. Hello, good morning. Augustine, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Augustine, thank you for calling. Let's hear you.
I think what I have to say was already said by the previous caller. Okay. Because the fact was that I got to know most of these celebrities through the adverts they've been doing. Okay. So if they are now saying that celebrities are not supposed to be used in advertisement, and then it means that they will use other people to be doing the advert, then obviously that person is going to become a celebrity. Mm-hmm. So what are they saying right now?
All right, I'll speak to Prosper.
I think that they should industries that are producing alcohol instead.
Okay.
Yeah. Stop them from producing alcohol drinks, or they should find other means by stopping.
Okay.
From
all
taking
right.
alcohol.
Augustine, points well noted. Let me speak to Prosper, and then we'll attempt to have some response from Mr. Latte here. Prosper, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Prosper, let's hear you.
Yeah, left on to me, the FDA has made a right move. But then somebody called saying that the number of times you appear makes you a celebrity. I totally agree with the person. We don't have a measure of celebrity. It depends on the number of times you appear there. So as you, I don't see anything wrong with what's the name, Kwame Jokoto advertising, because at the latter part of every advertisement, they say that not for children under 18 years. So to me, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
And that it shouldn't be an attack on only one person.
Yeah. Okay. So so it is not. It appears, but it is not, because he's done a little clarification on that. He's not the only person.
All right.
I think I have one more, and then I'll come back to the studio and take a response. So, good morning to you on the phone. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning,
Yes, sir.
my issue is if actually the advertisement that was brought out is not endorsed by FDA, how about the context? Suppose, let's say, some of the drinks we see, can I mention some, maybe Kukutu, something, the other one, Berman stew and all that?
No, because he hasn't got his documents here, we are not in his office. So even if you mention, he may not be able to tell you if, that has been passed or not.
At the first place, no. How? And according to FDA, okay, anything dealing with food stuff, from beverage, whatever, it means that it has gone through FDA processing. And that food product has been endorsed and has been accepted. However, for me to sell out my product, okay, I need to get customers. And particularly with drinks, let's say 18 years and above. 18 years and above. And it's stated on my label. Irrespective of who I use, at the end of the day, I have to make my money. I have to make my money. So I take a celebrity, popularly let's say Rokoto, and I sell my product. This product has already been set from FDA's rules and regulations that 18 years and above. So if a kid is going to drink, I don't think it's coming from my advertisement. Probably the kid is a delinquent. My dad sold alcohol. We had an alcohol a restaurant. I was selling, but I never sold. So I don't think this FDA stuff about celebrity should hold.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I'll speak to Thomas. Do I still have Thomas holding? Otherwise, let me read a bit and I'll allow you to respond. Alito says, I think it's the right move by the authority to keep children from drug abuse. And then take all forms of alcohol adverts down. That's what Napoleon is saying. Hakim says, of course, this is a step in the right direction. And Adusu Matilda says, alcoholic beverages should be banned from advertising on television. But let's tackle this issue of, you say somebody is not a celebrity today, but the moment the person starts advertising a particular product continuously, the person becomes popular and then the celeb.
I must admit that when the caller, those callers spoke about that issue, I saw the sense in it. You understand? We'll look at it. That's what I can say. We'll look at it. Because I saw the sense in it. You use somebody today, the moment it remains, it becomes a celebrity.
Okay. But I have a certain fear.
Yeah.
If most of the adverts that you say we see on television and hear on radio have not been passed, does it mean that the beverage itself has been passed by the FDA?
Possible. It's possible.
So it could also mean that there are a lot of products in the system that have not gone.
Oh yeah, for that one, it's a challenge we have. It's a challenge.
But that's scary.
It's scary. I agree. It's a challenge we have. And we have been doing a lot of education on this. Now, the challenge we are having is that if, for instance, you are bringing a product into the country and the product has not been approved, it's difficult to bring it in through the port. I'm talking about Temahabo or Kutka or Takrady. But people smuggle some of these products into the country through the borders, and that's a challenge. So the time you notice, they are on the market.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Why don't you tackle the roots of the problem? Like this, you have a major challenge.
Yeah.
It's a major challenge because people can bring in all sorts of concoctions. They can bring in expired drinks. I think that is a more serious problem instead of making someone a scapegoat and saying he's been banned. You get me?
No.
I think you guys should focus rather on solving that problem.
Yes, when it comes to products on the market that are not registered, we have a team that we call the post-market surveillance team, constantly on the market. That is, it's true that I will be issuing press statements, or that this product is not a registered product, don't patronize. Because sometimes you don't know how they get into the market. They don't realize it's on the market. There are even times that people bring in registered products, and then they conceal unregistered ones in the registered products. So when it gets to the port, it's equal for them to remove, say that let's remove every box, open them. You can't check that. You understand? So it is a challenge, but it's something we are really battling.
I have heard some celebrities declare that they are not celebrities after this directive. I say I am not a celebrity. You are saying I'm a celebrity. Who should we believe?
You will look at it.
Deborah, now that you've heard this, would you go ahead and put your image or your voice on an alcoholic beverage?
Well, I haven't really been, because I'm not like really a drinker. You know, sometimes I drink just to be polite at an event or something, you know, not to be whatever. But
advertising it doesn't mean that you believe in it.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it doesn't mean I overdrink it, or it doesn't mean I abuse it.
Yes, just encouraging people to buy it.
Maybe once in a while you like to have a beer or something. But now that he's saying that, oh, that's a regulation, honestly, I don't know. If the money is big, I might.
See, right there. But you're saying there's a certain fine. Are you not? You're saying if you go ahead and do it, irrespective of what you've heard, you're going to fine people.
Oh yes, that's in the law.
Okay, so that's
so. Let's say right now, you know that I'm aware. So if I get called for a big brand, you know the money is huge. Are you going to fine me?
Not to do it.
So just in case, I just want to know. No.
Yes, you see, once you flout that directive, you are supposed to be fined an amount. That is, if we and you were to be prosecuted.
Okay.
We find an amount.
What if I decide to share the money with you? Will you hand me over?
An amount between 1,000 penalty units and 7,500 penalty units.
That's equivalent to
12 Ghana cedis.
One penalty unit is 12 Ghana cedis.
So that's between 12,000 Ghana cedis and 90,000 Ghana cedis.
Hey,
you understand? That's the fine.
So who is paying? Is it the
well, that's the court will determine.
Is it the
court will determine that,
or that's the client? That's the advertiser.
It's definitely not going to be me paying.
And so aside that, you may be jailed for a period not more than 4 years. It's in the law.
Okay. The artist or the company?
Well, the court will determine that.
Okay. The court will determine. Okay, but we still have, as we speak, I'm sure some stations are still playing some of these adverts. You have celebrities, there are billboards, there are newspaper advertisements. What are you going to do? What's going to happen tomorrow?
We have, as we are talking right now, we've engaged the police CID.
Hey,
yes, and they've started working seriously.
This is serious.
What are they doing exactly?
Well, they'll invite you to answer why you have flouted the law, and they'll pick you on.
Really?
It's a criminal offense. Once it's in the law and you flout,
so their target is on celebrities.
No celebrity, on anybody that flouts the law.
Hey. No, what I mean is there are adverts running today with some of these famous because my understanding, James, is that you don't have a problem with advertising alcoholic beverages. Your issue has to do with celebrities endorsing exactly.
Yes.
So if you say that you've engaged the CID, I'm asking, are they looking out for celebrities who are involved in these advertisements?
Maybe they may do that. They may decide to even invite the station who was illegally advertised. Something's not supposed to
But you engage them. You engage. Did you engage the CID?
Do you engage them?
Yes.
They are helping us to do our job.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. What sort of guidelines have you given them? I mean, what are they looking
for?
We're
not giving them a guideline. The whole thing is that we have handed over the law to them. People are flouting the law. Help us to deal with it.
Okay. I just remembered something. Remember you asked me if I had done any alcoholic drink. I haven't, but I got a hamper from an alcoholic drinks company, and I put it on social media and I said, thank you. Am I going to? Are you coming after me?
No, please, no. That was
in January.
Deborah, please, no.
I was just saying thank you.
No, she's declaring her position. At least and you've answered her. So how about the adverts running already? Is it those persons who are going to be invited by the CID?
Yes. And you see, Deborah, Mama V, let's understand is that I've mentioned earlier that any adverts that you see with these celebrities in it, I said we are not giving approval. So it's already illegal.
So how soon is this enforcement going to happen?
It has started.
So with the big brands, I think there's a particular brand that has a number of them lined up endorsing it. Are those people going to be invited?
They'll be invited.
And then they'll do what? Ask questions. You've seen me do it, so what are you inviting me for?
The police, they'll handle their job. I don't want to go in there.
Does this apply to if I'm reading an LPM?
If it's an approved script, we don't have a problem.
Okay.
You understand? Once it's an approved script, we don't have a problem.
I want to say thank you for your time. This is to be continued, definitely. And Deborah, Vanessa, thank you for coming. I absolutely enjoyed you. I think you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Stay with us, Roland Walker. He has the hardest job because I got a pretty lady and a nice gentleman to keep me company. He has Talk is the AM Talk up next year on the AM.